Orleans Saints 2-0, 1-0 on the road at the Packers, 1-0, 0-0 at home, 69 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 12 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the spread here in this Packers game. We have it sitting at 2, -2 for the Pack. That's where it opened, so we haven't seen much movement. When it came out this morning at 9:12 a.m., there was a 7-cent move towards the Saints, and it's come back. So at this point, we've only had 2 cents of movement towards the Saints. So, it's sort of calming when you don't have a lot of movement to panic over. Let's take a look at the total here for Saints Packers, and we're sitting at 42.5 at Pinnacle. They've moved just 3 cents to the over, while other books have moved it to 43. So this is sitting at 42.5. Let's get over to the total for this one here. Saints, Packers. Cash wise on the total, 60% of the tickets and 74% of the cash are on the under. It seems to be moving in the opposite direction, though. And from a spread standpoint, we have 66% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on the Green Bay Packers. That's a lot of money on the Green Bay Packers here. Saints come in off an underwhelming 2017 victory at Carolina, but they outgained the Panthers 341 to 239. They went 7 of 16 on third down, and they struggled again in the red zone. And with Derek Carr at quarterback, that's just going to be something that happens. It's not a comfortable place, the red zone. Derek Carr was 21 of 36 for 228 yards and an interception. I was surprised that the over a half interception was at a pick 'em price, and our guy, Spenny Penny Bombs, was all over that. And it was celebration when the interception happened. Chris Olave is a monster. Another great game. 6 catches for 86 yards. Shaheed caught 4 passes for 63 yards. You were on that over. Michael Thomas caught 7 passes for 55 yards. The reason or the issue with this team is Jamal Williams left early with the hamstring injury. The Saints are already without Alvin Kamara, who's serving the final game of his suspension. They don't have their third-round pick, Kendra Miller. He's available. He's not available. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. So that left Tony Jones, and he was elevated from the Saints practice squad as the only running back remaining on the roster. Jordan Mims is the only back on the club's practice squad now, so he'll probably get called up. Jones Jr. ran 12 times for 34 yards and 2 touchdowns after Williams went down. Now they have Taysom Hill, who can easily pick up the slack, and we saw that yesterday. 9 carries for 75 yards. This defense shut down the Panthers, holding them to just 239 yards and 1 and 3 in the red zone. Now that is the Panthers, but the Saints almost went 2 full games without giving up a touchdown. I mean, that was a Adam Thielen touchdown with 1:16 left. They held the Panthers to just 4 of 14 on third down. They applied pressure on Bryce Young all night, 4 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. And the secondary was excellent. I mean, Bryce Young only threw for 153 yards. We know how dangerous this secondary is. It's very, very good. The Packers coming off a 25-24 loss at Atlanta that saw them outscored 13-0 in the fourth quarter. Jordan Love threw for 3 more touchdown passes. So he has 6 in 2 games, but he was unable to move the ball when everything was on the line. And those last 3 possessions, 11 yards, no first downs. He went 0 of 6 through the air. It was very disappointing, especially for Packers backers, which I wasn't. Love finished 14 and 25 for 151 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran twice for 23 yards. Aaron Jones out with a hamstring injury, and the offense felt that loss. A.J. Dillon ran 15 times for 55 yards, caught a pass for 8 yards. Dontavian Wicks led the Packers with 40 yards receiving from just 2 catches. Jaden Reed caught 4 passes for 37 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the Packers only gained 224 yards versus the Falcons, and it's not going to get any easier here. Defensively, the Packers defense got gashed on the ground. The Falcons ran for 211 yards on them, and clearly the Saints aren't going to be able to do that with Tony Jones Jr. They're only going to be able to do that, with Taysom Hill. So that's a problem, and it's a problem in the game script if you're creating it. Luckily, Green Bay's worst area is not going to be as affected with the Saints squad that's so thin at running back. So Aaron Jones hamstring, Christian Watson hamstring, and David Bakhtiari knee, they didn't dress. And then the Green Bay lost another offensive starter with Elgin Jenkins went down in the first half with a knee injury. So in the second half, Lucas Van Ness, their linebacker, was sidelined with an elbow injury. I don't really understand the love for the Packers here. I don't get it. And I don't care that much that Jamal Williams isn't there. I do get concerned about the playbook decreasing if you can't really pass out of the backfield. I get concerned about that, but I'm surprised that there is, and let's just touch on it once more here, that the Packers have 66% of the tickets and 93% of cash. Take it away for us here, Troy. Saints, Packers at Lambeau.
I mean, when you first started looking at this game, what do you think? To me, it was that the Packers were going to be the play because they were up double digits in the fourth quarter. They blew a game on the road. They're coming back home off a loss versus a team that's 2-0. That very it could be 1-1. I mean, the Saints have not looked. They've been kind of underwhelming as well. Neither of their wins were impressive to me. So this is a game I'm very very interested to watch, but I don't know if I'm going to be back in either of these two sides. I was really heavy. I mean, I was really trying to find a way to back the Packers, but Birdie's actually making me a little bit more nervous backing the Packers. But you do look at these two teams and you notice you've got a great offensive team in the red zone in the Packers. They're 5 of 6, 83%, number one in the league, versus the Saints, who can't score in the damn red zone on offense, but their defense is one of the best in the NFL and holding people out of the end zone. This is a very tough game, and the Saints' offensive line, I think that's really where I wanted to attack. They're one of the worst offensive lines in the league so far through 2 weeks, and they did play the Titans, and I know the Titans are ferocious. But the Panthers, I mean, they're probably middle of the pack, but oh man, it's just this is a really tough game. I think I'm going to use it more as a benchmark game and to gain information on these two teams. But yeah, I mean, for me, I just want to back the Packers off that tough loss. I think they'll be able to execute down in the red zone where, I mean, you can't trust Derek Carr. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm interested in the Saints, but I don't think I'm interested enough to put money on them here. I don't think that was it was a very underwhelming victory against Carolina, but they did the job. They did what was necessary, and they just did the job in week 1, 2. Do I think the Saints are a good enough team without a running back to go into Green Bay and beat them? I guess not. If I put it that simply, I guess not. Birdie says, is it the under here that would be looked at? And I'm interested in the under. I'm a little surprised here with the market. I'm a little surprised. You have 61% of tickets, 74% cash on the under, and yet we see that the over is what's being juiced. If I had a free bet, I would definitely move on the under. I think that if you want the Packers, you do want to know if Aaron Jones will be back from that hamstring injury, and we'll get a better idea tomorrow. I'm sure he won't be at practice here, but the under makes sense, and I guess the Packers Atlanta game, I still need to sit with for longer. How bad the Packers looked in the fourth quarter. But Jordan Love's thrown 6 touchdown passes in 2 games. The statistics that I'm studying are confusing, and I don't trust Derek Carr. The last thing I want is to have money on Derek Carr and he goes back to pass. I'd be much more comfortable with Taysom Hill back there, and I hope Taysom Hill gets more snaps.
Hey, so yeah, Birdie's got me questioning the Packers too, because I was kind of leaning towards the Packers a lot. And another stat that I'm looking at here with Jordan Love, he was only pressured last week on 12% of his dropbacks, but his poor pass percentage was 25%, almost double what his pressure percentage was. So unforced bad passes and errors that Jordan Love was able to get away with, along with Desmond Ridder. So you got 2 guys making errors and getting away with it with the Packers and the Falcons.
Yeah. Sky Dragons, his back-to-back road game, short week, got the division win. Green Bay annoyed after blowing a big lead. Capping-wise, love Green Bay, but his number came out to -1. Harold Williams leaning towards the Packers. Terry Walker says, do not think teams are getting somewhat better. I'm thinking over should start up soon. I don't know. I need more time with Jordan Love, and that fourth quarter was alarming. it was alarming for anybody who wants to back the Pack. Now the line moved to 3, and everybody got paid on the Packers. So, all right, this one is. I'm not even going to really. I guess if I was to write down like a lean, I guess I lean towards the under, but the market, I do not. If the money's coming in on the under and the over is being juiced, well, that makes me very uncomfortable. So I'm going to move past it right now. And yeah, do I really want these Saints on a short week? I mean, I think there's that's very uncomfortable as well. So and back-to-back road games is an important point. So this has become way less and less and less appealing. But I like the Saints, and I didn't realize that I did. I didn't, seeing just I guess I had a bias of watching that defense so banged up last year and looking atrocious, and Dennis Allen, with his offensive coordinator that's been there for 15 years, just doing nothing creative, even though you have Taysom Hill back there as well. So, but I like them more than I thought. Let's move past this one.